Batman isn't just an anti-hero, he's an anti-criminal. I've never seen a superhero that outright uses criminal tactics against criminals the way Batman does. Like, the only thing he's above is killing. That's it. Everything else is on the table. Like, he'll send Cobblepot an anonymous letter that's just obvious enough to let Cobblepot know that it was Batman. Then Cobblepot starts thinking that, oh no, there's somebody in my organization is like telling Batman how to get to me, and then it destabilizes everything, and he starts distrusting his main guys, and then it literally opens a window for Batman to come in and get him immediately. And it's like, nope, Batman just knew, and the only way he could get to you was sending a letter through the mail. But there's some things that Batman has gotten wrong. I've touched on this in my last video where, we're talking about Batman being not the best role model for completely modeling your life after. However, there's one specific thing I wanted to talk about that Batman really, really has a problem with, and that has to do with just being social. Batman doesn't have friends. And you might think, well, what about the Justice League? What about Robin or Alfred? Batman doesn't have an equal. Like, in his own mind, he doesn't have someone who is equal and fully trustworthy. There are even things he doesn't tell Alfred. And as a Christian, you need that kind of community. The kind of community that means that you can get in a group of people and you can tell that group of people openly the darkest things that you're dealing with, and they choose to love you and choose to continue helping you. Because it's not a therapy group. The group therapy thing is usually what you should be getting all the time. And that's the problem. Is where we should be surrounded by people that we can openly tell our deepest issues to and not get judgment. That's what Christianity is all about, is being able to share your deepest issues, sharing your deepest secrets, and not being judged for it. Now, Batman doesn't have that. Not even in Alfred. Alfred knows a lot, but he doesn't know all of it. And that Alfred's as close as Batman gets to having a true equal friend. Everyone else is less than that. They're either a very close acquaintance that he can have a friendship with, but it's not real friendship. It's not what God would call friendship, where you like truly know each other's dirt, so to speak. Whereas Batman and Superman really only know each other's dirt because of being around each other a lot, but they don't openly talk about it to each other. Especially Batman doesn't tell people this stuff. He is constantly paranoid that something can happen. And yes, this is a fictional universe where almost anyone can be your enemy, yada, 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 but real friends do happen. And Batman has a few options. I would suggest, and I would put forward, that Batman's best option for a friend starting out is the Flash. He's not Superman, which Batman already has a bunch of reservations about Superman. And Superman's kind of the one Batman. He loves Superman, but he's always got that, like, but you have like so much strength that I, Batman, could not physically go toe to toe with you, and there's no way I could go against you without prep time. That Batman is intimidated by that. Batman doesn't have that true dichotomy like that with the Flash. I'm putting Barry Allen out there because the Flash is pretty much just a nice person. He's truly kind even to the villains that he fights most of the time. And he doesn't necessarily judge. He's more understanding than most, and he's got a sense of humor, which is something Batman desperately needs. So the Flash, Barry Allen, would be a wonderful foil to Batman's dark, serious, rigid, way of thinking and doing things. I would put the Flash as Batman's top, like, contender for first real close friend. And a lot of people will be like, well, what about the Robins? And what about like Batgirl? Like, Oracle, stuff like that, like Dick Grayson, all of those guys, those are just students. Batman doesn't share his deepest flaws and doubts and insecurities with his students. He teaches them the good side of it. And because if it, just like any teacher, if you share all of the negative stuff, they're going to absorb that and it's not going to come through right ever again. And you could seriously mess with their confidence by sharing your lack thereof with them. You need a friend, you need an equal. So, where would Batman go after starting out trying to be, or actually being friends with Barry Allen? I would say Batman would probably need to go to the rest of the Justice League, and he would also have to openly and personally address to Superman his distrust and where his distrust comes from and ask for help with that, because you can't start trusting someone you're not willing to truly try to trust. The reason there's that true distrust between Batman and Superman is Batman is disconnected. Batman looks at everything through a filter, so to speak. He's got that wall that he can see through it, and he goes behind somebody's back and he gets information on them behind their back, but he doesn't get it from them. What he needs to do is, because he's already collected the information, the Justice League knows that he's already gone through their business as best as he can. He needs to start talking to them, admitting what he's done, and asking them questions that would require they answer basically give him the same information he's found. Or they would give him explanations that expound on that information, most likely weren't in that information to begin with. Because who better to ask about someone's life than the person living it? Because reports and data can only tell you so much. And Batman lives on data and reports, not personal accounts. So what Batman would have to do is be like, hey, I understand you guys know this, but I have trust issues and I need to depend on you guys. And if I can't depend on you, then you can't depend on me. And Batman doesn't see it that way. Batman sees it as somebody's got to do it. Somebody's got to keep all the secrets. Technically, yes, but there is one who keeps all the necessary secrets and reveals all the necessary information. And it's not us as people. His name is God. His name is Jesus, who is also God. For us, we need to reveal those things because we're not God. And Batman is a prime example of basically the best case scenario for somebody playing God and not knowing it is no friends, no trust, and no real joy, and still dealing with all the stuff that they've dealt with for decades, aka most of us right now. I wouldn't say the no friends thing, but I would say not being able to fully trust people, not being able to truly open up and trust that this person isn't going to absolutely just rag on you, being able to trust somebody to take you seriously and know where you're coming from when you have issues. Batman doesn't have that. And it's because of his distrust and his unwillingness to connect on a deeper level, which requires you giving up information you don't really want to give up. That's something I was trying to talk about in the last video, but I was trying to cover a lot of information all at once, and I didn't get to, fully brain through everything. But I have a little bit of the Batman syndrome where everything has to be just right and everything's got to be in its right category before I do anything. And a lot of times my mind doesn't work that way anymore because it just won't do it. So I'll go to the shelf in my brain and there's no shelf left, and all the stuff that was on the shelf is in a pile. And that's usually how things work. So yeah, that's kind of how I made that video last time. So thanks guys. I apologize for the wait, and I'm still working on some other videos. I promise. I'm just trying to get the pile sorted through so that I can build the shelf and put everything back where it should be. Thanks, guys. I'm the Game Disciple. I love you. Be blessed. Amen.